I'm Scott.
I'm TJ.
And this is a review. On today's episode, we'll be reviewing Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends is the third Halloween movie in the third reboot, maybe fourth, because there's like 4 different Halloween timelines. It's the 13th Halloween movie.
Spooky.
TJ, what'd you think about Halloween? Would you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Halloween Ends.
Sideways. Very mid.
Ooh.
Closer to bad.
Really?
Maybe like here.
This is a solid thumbs down for me. This movie sucked ass. This is a really bad movie. And we're going to tell you more about why this is such a bad movie. And you're really going to want to stick around and find out why, because there's a lot of ins and outs we got to talk about. But we are going to be spoiling the heck out of this Halloween Ends movie.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it or are afraid of spoilers, maybe tune out now and just know that, you know, it's a bad movie. And maybe you want to watch it, but if you don't, we'll tell you why. So like and subscribe, and without further ado, Spoiler Skull! Alright, so Halloween Ends, spoiler territory. I hated almost every single thing about this movie.
I mean, dude, I felt like it had some cool potential in Act 1, and then it just didn't do anything cool with it. I thought for a moment we were going to get this interesting parallel, like, dynamic with, like, Michael Myers and this new protege guy. What's his name? Cole or something?
Cody?
Cody? Yeah, Cody. And
I don't actually remember his name.
And
he was
then,
very forgettable.
Laurie and Michael Myers. And so, like, it felt like we were going to have this cool, like, both people are getting hunted, or I don't know. It lost all of that, though.
Well, this movie... Okay, the problem here... There's a lot of problems here. It's going to be hard to really... to isolate it down to one. And his name is Corey. His name is Corey. I had to look it up real quick. I knew he has like Corey Cutterson, or he has like some alliteration name similar to Michael Myers.
Got you.
Okay, so this movie, just to kind of give the history, like I said, this is the 13th Halloween movie. This movie is this is the trilogy that's been directed by David Gordon Green and written by him and Danny McBride, amongst a few other people. The first reboot of this franchise came out Halloween in 2018. It's a direct sequel to the 1970s Halloween directed by John Carpenter. So it's ignoring all the other 10, 12 sequels out there, movies out there, and it's like, this is the real timeline, which, frankly, it's the first... That one is great. Halloween Kills is actually pretty fun. There's still a lot going on there. So the first two in this new reboot, something going on. It was, some interesting stuff. This Halloween Ends movie, though, I don't know what the happened.
Was he trying to be a mentor and then decided what's going on with Michael Myers? What is his motivation at all? Like I guess you don't need motivation to be a killer, but like he didn't even seem like he wanted to kill. Michael
Myers. Well, there's so the thing that these movies have been establishing, in my opinion, is really hammering in that Michael Myers, the Shape as he's called, is just fear itself. He's the boogeyman. He's just a mindless killing machine that enjoys killing. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Halloween Kills firmly establishes that Michael Myers does not give a about Laurie or anybody else. He just kills people that are in his way. It has nothing to do with... He doesn't care. It's not his sister. He doesn't care about... It's not family. They basically break it down that he just wants to go home and stare at his own reflection in the mirror because he's fucking nuts. He's cuckoo pants.
Yeah.
He's a psycho. There's nothing else to it. I don't know what's going on in this movie. This movie takes place 4 years after Halloween Kills.
Right.
Which Halloween and Halloween Kills take place like on the same night. For some reason, I think they would have... I don't know. This one 4 years later, whatever. It's Laurie and the granddaughter, because Laurie's daughter, played by Judy Greer, is murdered by Michael Myers at the very end of Halloween Kills. It's kind of sad. It's kind of like a twist ending because you think it's over and then she just suddenly dies. So they demolished Michael's house because they established in the last one that's what he wants to do. So now he's just living in the sewers. I think he's renting a space from Pennywise.
The dancing clown.
He's just hanging out. He's not doing anything, as far as we know. He's not killing anybody. Laurie's finally moved on with her life.
Kind of. She's writing a book. How has she moved on? She's writing a book and she can't finish it because her story's not over. I mean, doink, there's your bookend.
She's moved on
literally.
In the sense that she's moved back to town and is like having a normal life again.
Right.
Whereas the rest, the first movie in this franchise, or in the reboot, establishes that Laurie has become this weird hermit for 40 years. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. Nothing happened to her in those 40 years until that movie. Now, 4 years later, after her daughter was murdered again by this killer that escaped and is still at large, now she's okay with settling down again. She's completely revoked all the weird hermit ways and her defense, like trapping. All the stuff they set up in that first movie, that's done. Why? I mean, I don't understand. Like, in 40 years, she couldn't let it go? When nothing happened and he was in jail. But now he's out there and her daughter's dead. 4 years later, that's it. We're good.
Yeah, grieving's different for everyone. At least she didn't make a puppet like Geppetto.
Your name will be Pinocchio.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see.
To me, there's more reason now for her to be like that than before. Before it was like, oh, she's just crazy, right. She's just paranoid. He's been in jail for 40 years.
Yeah. He almost killed you. He didn't kill anyone you love. Oh, but now that he's free in your town somewhere and he killed your daughter, you're like, I should write a book.
Fine. It's total. I'm gonna move back into town and do this nice townhouse, and it's fine. It's just an odd. It's ignoring a lot of established lore, I guess, that they've already set up.
I saw the first one time in theaters, and I didn't see Halloween Kills, and I watched this one now. So I had forgotten a lot of that stuff. And so when they start the intro and she's explaining everything in voiceover, I was just like, oh, okay, that's where we are, and was very forgiving of it. It didn't need to make total sense to me in terms of her character because I was kind of looking at it as its own movie. But yeah, you're right. It totally undoes a lot of what this trilogy is about.
Well, and for, it's a horror movie, it's a slasher, so one would say we don't need all that.
Right.
That being said, after the first scene in this movie where there is a accidental kill, we go about 50 minutes before we get an actual kill again. 50 goddamn minutes in an hour and 50-minute movie. That's almost half of the fucking runtime.
There's not a lot of kills.
Movie.
In general, there's just not a lot of kills in this movie, and I was a little, weird to say, disappointed by the lack of murder, but...
What else do you go for a movie like this for? The character development?
The romance.
Oh, wait. They got rid of that. Yes, the romance between the creepy Jeffrey Dahmer character that
I'm invested in this guy who accidentally murdered a child and this girl who lost her mother's relationship.
If I can't have her...
This character, they just introduced this character, and it's he's the new Michael Myers, and we're gonna follow him now. And it's no. We don't need that. There's no point. And the movie itself agrees, because at a certain point, they just dump him anyways. F him, he's dead. Michael Myers here. He's gonna finish this movie for us. And it's well, why did we need this? What was the point of introducing this character? And
I mean, okay, few big problems with this character. First and foremost, never wears a helmet. Never ever wears a helmet on his motorcycle. So many shots of him just riding his motorcycle with no helmet, no mask. Just why? It was very weird.
He's unhinged. He's dangerous.
But from the start, have him wear a helmet at the beginning, and then you got character development, Scott. He takes the helmet off because he's reckless now.
I think him riding the motorcycle was the character development.
He goes from bike to motorcycle. That's actually, it's a metaphor for puberty. He hit late.
But he never does quite get out of puberty because he's the angstiest character. Like, it's like high school drama, but the characters are like 30, but they're supposed to be like 20, but then he's getting beat up by actual high schoolers. I'm so confused.
I had no idea how old they were supposed to be.
I think he's supposed to be like 25, maybe.
Interesting.
But he's like 30. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but like,
right.
They don't look that young, but then the cop hitting on her, it's like, I don't understand.
This guy seems much older than them, though.
But then also, like, I don't get it. I'm confused. No. I think they're supposed to be in college.
Got you. But it's got to be post-college, right? Or she didn't go to college. Because she's working as like a nurse. Maybe she went to nursing school or something. I don't know.
Oh, you're right. She is a nurse.
But like she's full on employed.
I don't fucking know. This movie, I don't know how old she is in the previous movie either. They don't really. It's probably like 18 or 20 or something in the last one. I don't know.
No idea.
I don't know. It's very confusing. So the kid gets off. He gets away with murder, but then the girl falls in love. She's like really pushing. This is like no, but she
says things like, "I was searching for you," and like I wanted to meet you. Like she's also creepy. You know,
right? That's what I mean. And it's like before he's really doing. She's like the only thing that she's into is like he knows about this guy is he killed a kid on accident. It's the only thing we know about this character, and she's drawn to him.
People are mean to him because of it.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, which rightfully so. I mean, he's fucking weird. But then he gets bullied by some kids, and then they bully him off of a bridge, which is something that happens.
Right.
And he gets dragged into the sewer by Michael Myers, I guess.
But
and then Michael Myers like doesn't kill him, and he's like, "You're my protege now," but he doesn't ever like talk to him. I don't.
So here's what I actually thought. I didn't think Michael Myers dragged him. I thought the old guy who like lived outside of Michael Myers like sewer entrance brought him as like tribute or something, because he put like, so my theory is he put him in the hole. This dude wakes up, naturally he goes, okay, let me walk around this sewer. So he walks around. Michael Myers and him have that weird bonding moment where they look into each other's eyes and see their past, and then they sympathize with each other. He leaves, and the old guy starts shaking him, and he's like, get back in there. Why are you here? And so I don't know. I wasn't sure if he was trying to like sacrifice him.
It's implied that Michael gives him the Michael powers by staring into his eyes for some reason. He's like, you're evil now. Because the kid he was fine before then. He was a little troubled, but he's like, there's a change. He's like walking around all hunched over and like...
Dude, if anyone empowered this guy to change, it was Lori. She's the first one to give him a taste of revenge, because he gets beat by those kids outside that thing, and she's like, who's going to slash him, you or me? So arguably, she made him a slasher, and then Michael Myers saw that seed planted and gave him the evil look, I guess.
I mean, all this, it's just like ridiculous. It's like the whole idea of Michael Myers. Look, what would have been clever is if Michael Myers wasn't there, or he was a fucking corpse. They find him at the end, and he's been dead this whole movie, and this kid has just been like Psycho style, just been like worshiping his body and like using this as an excuse to. I mean, like the fact that he's actually Michael Myers and is actually alive at the end is just ridiculous. It just ruins the whole. I mean, if they're going that road, it ruins the whole point of making this new character and then just having him die. Michael just shows up and kills him. And then, we got to talk about the end of this movie where they finally pretty irrefutably killed Michael Myers. I don't know how else they've killed him before, but like he's pretty goddamn dead at this movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They put him in a goddamn meat grinder. They do this before they meat grind him. They do this weird thing where there's a lot of Jesus imagery with Michael Myers, where like they literally crucify him to the table with knives, and then like they tie him to a car. And they have like a weird funeral procession where they bring him to the meat grinder, and then like the crowd is like lifting him up.
Why
over
did they
him,
do
and
that?
I was like,
I would not want to touch this dead body if I was anyone in this town. I don't care how many therapists tell me that it's good for my trauma. I'm not going to crowd surf Michael Myers into a meat grinder.
It was like the end of the Joker. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, why is he Jesus now? Like, it was the weirdest set of imagery that just like, let's just do the Jesus thing. Let's just go for it. Let's crucify him. Let's do that. I'm just like, okay, that's an odd choice, but I guess, like, I don't know. I think, like, the idea of, having the protege, it just seems
They didn't capitalize on it. I was okay with it. I was just like, I'm just going to lean into this, like, I looked into your soul and I let you live because I saw pain that I have within myself or something, you know?
Sure.
And so he lets him go, and then he comes back and he seeks him out. And kind of at that moment, I'm more interested, to be honest. And I'm like, okay, this is cool because, like, Allison, is that her name? The daughter? Or Judy Greer's daughter, you know. But like she's like a good mixture of Laurie in the same way where she's like obsessed with this guy in a weird way, just like Laurie's obsessed with Michael Myers. So like I was kind of okay with feeling like
there's such a jump from her to being obsessed with him. That's what I don't get. Is it's like that's fine. But they needed to have a reason for her to be obsessed with him.
You know what it could
right
have been?
away, she was like, I'm into this guy. And I'm like, are you? Okay.
I have it. Allison was, if we're going to say her name's Allison, because I don't know what her name is. Okay, good.
It is.
Allison was supposed to babysit that kid, and she ditched it because of hanging out with her boyfriend at the time or blah, blah, blah. But so she feels responsible because she's like, if I had babysat that kid like I was supposed to, you wouldn't have accidentally killed her, you know, anything.
Did they even say something? Is that even maybe what happened? And they maybe cut? Because I do remember when that kid shows up to babysit, they did say, like, you're not the usual babysitter. So they did, there's a comment.
Yeah, it's almost like it's
guy.
supposed to be there and it was cut, like you said. Dude, for all we know, this is a Jurassic World Dominion.
That's exactly what happened. And they
where we're like, I wonder if this is what it's supposed to be. And then you see the extended cut and you're like, yeah, this probably would have been better.
Yeah, I do. It's odd. It's an odd. You're right. It needed that connective tissue, but even his origin story, it doesn't quite work. It's just weird. It's just
and then like he's killing people that he has like actual beef with. He's not evil for evil's sake, the way that you feel like Michael Myers is.
Right. Well, that's what makes them not a great match. Is that Michael Myers and he never talks, and it's like this guy is chatterbox, and like I don't know, it's just like in the scenes where they have Michael like standing in the background while he's killing people, but then it just
how about that scene where he's holding that cop and Michael Myers is just stabbing him in the sewer and he's
that was fine, but like I was okay with that.
Went on a little too long, like it was like 3 cuts too long where you're just like, okay, we get it, like it like almost like the guy was just like, like while he's holding him. It was just too much for a moment.
That was his first. That was like Michael's wake up kill, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He was kind of slow, and I was like, I kind of like that.
Well, because it gave me the sense that like when he kills, he gets stronger, which like I kind of was like, oh, okay, maybe we're heading somewhere with this. And once again, we weren't. But you're right. It was a total warm up kill in that way.
And like to me, it almost looked like in that moment, the kid he was just trying to kill that, and that guy just got in the way. Like, he wasn't, like, that kid was just reading into it. But then later, it did seem like Michael was kind of mentoring him, and then wasn't.
Well,
it's like,
the reason I thought he was
doesn't
mentoring
think about
him,
stuff enough.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I'm asking too many questions. In a movie like this, I will let a lot of stupid stuff slide, but you can't make me question it. It's okay to have silly reasons and silly stuff, but like...
Sure, that's all fine, but this all completely defies what Michael is as a character, and like, it's just, as soon as it's happening, you're like, wait, what? Huh? He's allowing this? What? Because every other interaction with Michael is just die, you know? So it's like, what is this? It's it's very jarring, and they needed to find a better way to build on that, because there's no connection between these two characters really, and then I don't know, it's just kind of
the moment that I was like, all right, you're losing me with this, was when he's killing that nurse and the doctor for like you know, his reasons or whatever, but he's banging on the door, and then Mike Myers just shows up, or not Mike Myers, but Michael Myers, but you know, he shows up.
Oh, behave.
Yeah, so he's just banging on the door to get in, and Austin Powers bursts in through the chimney, and it's like, that's how you make an entrance, baby. Yeah. It was too much. It was like, why does he care? Because once again, it was like, this isn't like his MO.
No, none of it fits, and then it's all of this is just adding to like, there's nothing going on. So it's like we're just building all of this, but we're not getting what we want out of this movie, which is Michael killing people. And there's not a lot of creative kills in this movie. There's one fun bit where the radio DJ's tongue is like going around on the record, and I'm like, that's a cool bit, but like you don't even really see the kill. It's kind of all in cutaways. And also that radio DJ is like straight out of the 70s for no reason.
Did you feel like that special effects on his face was pretty bad too? Like when he pulls him up at the end. I don't know. I was like, that looks a little weird.
I liked it. It was the most gruesome thing in the movie. Everything else is just like so tame.
Not enough kills. Like, simple answer to make me forgive this movie a lot more. More kills.
Well, yeah, that's what Halloween Kills has going for it. Is there's a lot more kills, and there's coming at you at a lot more frequent rates. So you kind of forgive the stupidity of the movie. Whereas this is just like, all right, now what's happening?
Well, then also,
what?
What about her committing suicide and calling it in?
Did you really think I'd kill myself?
She knew he was gonna show up. She's like, I wouldn't kill myself. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, what? Huh?
I'm very confused.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that even a little bit. I don't understand. I don't even have a theory. I don't understand why she was. Laurie Strode is. There's been a suicide tonight. I'm calling it in. But yeah, they just kill him off and it's done. And it's like, okay, the movie's. We killed Michael. He's in a meat grinder, and now we could play Don't Fear the Reaper, and the movie's over. What the?
When I heard the cowbell, I just went immediately to the Christopher Walken Will Ferrell sketch, and it took like any like weird legitimacy out of the movie. Like it was just like, oh, this is a slap in the face. It felt like.
Well, that was another like it's zooming in on his mask, and then like that song starts playing, and like out loud in the theater, I was like, I got a fever, and the only prescription is more Michael Myers. It's like, what are we doing? Is this a comedy?
No, I mean it wasn't funny. Intentionally.
I was laughing out loud quite a bit at some of the dialogue in this movie. It was just comical. I mean, just so much of this movie is just so.
Well, there's a difference between a joke and something being laughable.
Right. It wasn't trying to be funny.
Right.
It's just bad.
Maybe the only way he can die is if I die too. It all ends now.
So I think that brings us to final thoughts. So TJ, give us final thoughts on Halloween Ends.
If you're a big Halloween fan, just check it out on Peacock. You know, get a free trial, watch that, then watch MacGruber. Check out some other stuff too. It's been fun, but like don't put any weight into this being good. I mean, like, it was so silly and just made me question things at every moment. We didn't talk about it a whole lot, but when Corey gets the mask from Michael Myers and you're holding in that shot from the sewer entrance, which is a cool shot, but like, at what point did we ever believe this guy can overpower Michael Myers? And then to see Michael Myers like go ham on Laurie later, like in like all these crazy ways in that kitchen fight, it just feels so unreasonable. It feels like this script didn't even read the previous 10 pages and they were kind of just always going off of a bulletin point. And that's a disappointment to me because I actually really liked this first Halloween movie and I want to check out Halloween Kills knowing it's a direct follow-up. But this as a trilogy capper, not great. I give it 2 scarecrow masks out of 5.
Damn it, you stole mine.
You know what's great? I didn't know what I was going to say. I looked at you and I went, scarecrow. I read it in your mind.
Yeah, so this movie sucks. It's a bad movie. It's a bad horror movie. It's a bad Halloween movie. It's a bad Psycho movie, which it feels more like a weird Psycho Friday the 13th movie than anything. What they're trying to do with this protege character that completely doesn't fit in this franchise. Unless, I don't know, I think there's a way, I think we talked about earlier, there's different ways you could have done this that maybe would have sold this more. But the way they did it does not work. The kills are lame. The acting is bad. The dialogue is bad. The cinematography is fine. It looks fine, but like it's choppy. You don't really get to see a lot of what's going on. It doesn't fit with the other 2 movies, which are really good, really fun. They're good Halloween movies. I would say Halloween Kills are some of the best in this franchise. So it is a major disappointment for a fan of this to see this kind of just end in such a shrug. It's just like, what was the point? So yeah, I give Halloween Ends 1 pumpkin out of 5. So I guess he goes in a meat grinder at the end. Everyone cheers.
Open up on Halloween Forever, and we open on a meat grinding factory as evil hot dogs start to take over the world. They're voiced by Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill, reprising their roles from Sausage Party, yeah.
I would watch that movie. In fact, that's a good idea. In fact, that's actually a good idea. That like he gets into like meat and like people are eating like Jason burgers or Michael burgers and like they turn into evil reborn. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
And Laurie's just like, they're after me.
Well,
the hot dogs are after me.
We cut to a hot dog eating contest. She's signed up thinking Michael Myers is dead. Now living her life to the fullest, she's going up on national television about to win the hot dog eating contest. Little does she know, Michael Myers is waiting as always.
Hot dogs! Alright, well, this has been a review of Halloween Ends. Like and subscribe, and ring the bell, and do all the fun stuff.